Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, and back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else she feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. Shay's tube. She back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. Now you thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. And you thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Shay's Tube Late Night Owls Talk Time. And again, thank you for tuning in. What's up, oh boy? Thank you so much. Respect to you as well. And thank you again. What's up, Jermaine? What's up? What's going on, Jermaine? Jermaine said, like, share, and comment and subscribe to this channel. Also, you can support VIA Super Chat, Super Stickers, Cash App at $Shay's Tube, or copy yourself a membership for $4.99. We do appreciate the real ones, and thank you so much. Let's go ahead and do that copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area. It will be in my comment area, and part of it is scrolling across that screen right there. And guys, let me ask you again to thumbs up this video if you enjoy this content. Also, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe below and hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Let me go ahead and put my background music. I hope you guys caught my hold on, let me put the thing on. Oh no, that makes me want to go to sleep. No, let's do this one. Okay, yeah. I hope you guys caught my earlier live when we talked about Diddy and the verdict that they had so far. And I went over everything earlier and stuff like that. So hopefully you caught that. If not, we will recap a little bit of that. And we are going to talk about Diddy again tonight. And we are going to discuss if we think his whole thing will be a hung jury, or do you think he's guilty or not guilty? You guys can tell me. Now, I told you guys earlier what I thought, and mine keep on changing. I'm not gonna lie, because I keep on getting new information, and so we end up changing it again. Jermaine ends up changing his. I mean, he pretty much stays grounded, but he still changes a little bit. But I definitely changed their minds, because I'm gonna tell you guys straight up. At first, I was like, he is not guilty. All right. They basically, just trying to convict them and things like that. However, after looking at the legal definitions of the things that he's been charged with, I don't know, guys. I really just don't know for sure. You know what I'm saying? We went over this earlier today. We was basically here doing some deliberations and stuff like that. And it was just a trip, looking up everything, looking up all these different law terms and trying to figure out if they have that proof. And we did see some evidence, but like I said before, we are not lawyers here. So therefore we, because they can do tricks and things like that, and they really understand the law, a little bit better than we do, obviously. And it's just, I don't know, but we're going to discuss it again tonight. We are. Thank you, Tony Bands, for tuning in. How are you tonight? And happy and blessed July, the new month, to all of you guys. And I hope you have a blessed and a wonderful month. And also, I would like to say rest in peace to one of my TikTok friends, J Rock. I didn't even know he passed on. He must have passed on like maybe 4 days ago. So rest in peace for him. And my prayers and condolences are expressed out to his friends and family, and his TikTok community. All right, we are going to definitely miss him. I will show y'all his video, but there wouldn't be no sound on it, because you know how YouTube is and stuff. But yeah, he was only in his 50s too. Damn. So you never know, you guys, when you are going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to live life to the fullest and don't take anything for granted, because you can be good one day and the next day you can be gone. Goodness. I just found out tonight too, because I didn't even know, because I was doing a TikTok trying to do that Usher challenge that he was showing us, that he did, and I was trying to do it. The one he do on New Flame, he did the tick. I was trying to do it. It actually looks like I'm doing like a combination of a shower. You know how you bathe in the shower and then maybe a little strip thing or something. I don't know. It's a trip. So I was trying to do it, and I saw his video come up and he was saying rest in peace. I was, oh, good and dead going well. This dude right here did not pass. So I go to his page, and it turns out it was him they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Sad situation. So like I said, do not take life for granted. Make sure you are saved. And just don't take life for granted, and enjoy life and live like it's your last day, because you just never know. Again, my condolences are expressed out to his family, his friends, and his TikTok community family there. And may he rest in peace. And it's a sad situation. All right. So y'all, if you guys are at home, make sure you get a relaxing seat, bed, or whatever. Get you some water. Water is good to drink. If you are at work, continue to do your job, but listen or either watch me on the down below, because like I always say, I do not want you guys to get in trouble. All right. So let's go ahead and recap Diddy's trial. Okay. I almost remember it by heart, because we just got through talking about it earlier when I thought they were going to have a verdict. And they did say the verdict, they have until Thursday. So that doesn't mean that tomorrow they won't come up with their decision. Now, some lawyers said that this is a good thing that the deliberations is taking a little longer, okay, in the deadlock, because that could mean that they are having a hard time trying to all, vote the same way. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, or maybe some people in that jury, may not agree with the others, okay? So, I don't know. We will see, okay? That's all I can say. Let me see what you guys are saying over here. So we got Old Boy in the place to be, Jermaine in the place to be, Tony Vance in the place to be. What's up, y'all? If people in the bushes, and when people watch this over again, we got y'all too. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this up here real quick. Diddy thing. And actually, let me change this to let's put that up there like that. Okay. So earlier today, let me go over that real quick with you guys. Hold on. Let's get those notes, Shay. Let's see. My new name is Sharon. Okay. Sharon. Okay, I want you guys to call me that from now on. Okay. Okay. So anyway, I got some new stuff to tell you guys as well regarding Diddy. There's some other people talking about him and things like that. And some crazy accusation from the mother of 50 Cent's son, what she alleges. So I'm going to tell you guys all about that as well. So earlier today, let's go ahead and go to Diddy thing. I must have erased it because I talked about it already. But this is like a little recap just in case you can see my earlier video. Hold on. Let me get the information, y'all. Hold on. And let me get some water and take my medicine. So anyway, after deliberating for a lot of hours, I think they said up to 11 hours, I'm not sure, they finally reached a partial verdict. All right. Earlier we looked up what a partial verdict is, and I actually forgot what it is, so I'm definitely going to have to look it up again. What's up, Mocha Delight? Thank you so much for tuning in. So let me go ahead and look that up again. All right. First, let me save this right here. Hold on. Let me save this right here first, and then I'll look it up again because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. I ask you trying to remember something, and I will tell you guys some shit that you never ever heard of in your life. You know what I'm saying? So let me look it up. All right. So partial verdict, and I don't need anybody in the chat to tell us. We want to look up the actual meaning because I can do that myself and then be wrong. Okay. Let's see. Define partial verdict. Okay. Let's do that again. In law. Okay. So anyway, that happens when a jury reaches a decision on some, but not all. Okay, so that means that, like you just see already, that the jury, they have reached a decision on some of the charges, but another charge they did not. And that is, I believe, the racketeering conspiracy. They have not reached a verdict on that, and that's why that is called a partial verdict. Okay, so it took them a while, like I said, to reach that. All right, let's see here. So anyway, like I said, the jurors in Sean Diddy Combs' trial, they reached a verdict on 4 of 5 counts against the rapper on Tuesday. All right, the jury reached a unit. I forgot you said that. I forgot you pronounced this. UNANIMOUS. Don't laugh, y'all. Verdict on counts of ex-trafficking and transportation to engage in the P word, but they remain split on 1 count of racketeering. So when you say they remain split, what does that mean? Does that mean that some people think he is guilty and then some people think he's not? That's probably what that means, right? All right. So that's what they are deliberating further on. And that's why the judge gave them until Thursday. And they also pulled out the, what is that called, Jermaine? The Allen law or something like that. What did you say that was earlier? They pulled out, come on, Jermaine, the Allen law, I think. So anyway, they are going to continue to deliberate today, Wednesday, July the 2nd, okay? So let me see, the Allen law. I think that's what you call it. Let me look that up real quick. And then we're going to finish going over that. Let's go to this. I think it's the Allen law. Allen something shit. I think that's what you call it. What is that called, Jermaine? God, y'all see. Let's see. I think this is it right here. No, that's not right. That's not. What was that law called that the prosecutors did today, so they can give so they can tell the jury to go ahead and deliberate some more. Yeah, Allen charge. Yeah, they deliberate some more until they've all agree on the same thing. All right, and the judge usually do that because he does not want a hung jury or anything like that. Let's see. I call it. It's the Allen charge, not law. Let's see again. I almost got it right. So anyway, like I said earlier, the 1896 U.S. Supreme Court case, Allen versus United States, it established the legality of jury instructions known as Allen charges to encourage deadlocked jurors to reach a verdict. And you remember, deadlock means that they all can't agree, okay, on the same thing. Mixed answers or whatever you want to call them. So this case involved Alexander Allen, who was a black teenager who was tried and sentenced to DEATH for the murder of a white teenager in 1892. After deliberations, the jury returned a guilty verdict. Allen appealed. He argued improper jury instructions, okay? So, hold on. With the Allen law, okay, I mean, not law, charge, it will give the jurors a little bit more time to deliberate because the judge is trying not to basically get a hung jury. Now, there are some problems with that charge because some believe that when the judge or the prosecutor requests for the Allen charge to be used, it can possibly put pressure on the jurors to go ahead and make a decision. And sometimes, it can be the wrong decision. So a lot of states, I think they said states, do not allow the Allen charge to be used in the court of law, okay? Because if you're pressuring jurors to make a decision and everybody to basically be on the same accord, somebody, may just agree that a person is guilty or not guilty just because everybody else is saying the person is guilty or not guilty. And because they're being pressured and rushed because the judge and obviously the prosecutor do not want a hung jury or mistrial or anything like that. Okay? So that's further instructions, obviously. They also call this dynamite or SHOTGUN or third degree charges. Okay? So they're basically trying to prevent a hung jury, if I got this correct. All right? And they did use the Allen charge on Diddy, okay? So let's see what else they got here, okay? Hold on. So he did consider the Allen charge. I don't know if he's actually going to use. I think he did because that's why he told them to deliberate further until Thursday. Anyway, Diddy's defense team opposed the move, saying jurors are working steadily and should not be pressured. So the judge is considering the Allen law, and Diddy's defense team is opposing that. Now, they do tell contradictory things because earlier they said the prosecutors and the defense attorneys didn't have any problem with using that. And I thought that was very weird for the defense attorneys to agree with the Allen charge. Okay, so here they are saying that Diddy's defense team opposes the move, saying jurors are working steadily and should not be pressured. And I say they should not be pressured either, because when you pressure people, they tend to, make mistakes or just go with the flow. They be pressured into, doing what the other people are doing, especially with the 4th of July holiday coming up. So, other jurors, you know, they got their answers maybe, and they waiting for maybe one or two, maybe three, maybe even four people, maybe even five people to decide guilty or not guilty. It's crazy. So it's the racketeering conspiracy, okay? They did reach verdicts on four other accounts, and their note that they wrote to the judge cited unpursuable views on both sides of count one, prompting the court to consider issuing what is known as the Allen charge. So I'm thinking that he did issue that. That's why they got more time. Okay. So anyway, they said the instruction used in federal court when jurors struggle to reach, a decision, and it encourages continued deliberations and reminds jurors of their duty to work toward a verdict that everybody basically agree upon. Okay. But Diddy's defense team is urging the court to hold off, saying the jury appears to be working diligently through a high volume of testimony and evidence. It doesn't need added pressure. So I'm not sure if the judge applied that or not. He might not have applied it. I'm not sure. I need to look and see. I thought earlier I looked it up and it said that he did use it. So I will look it up again to make sure. Anyway, they said if the jurors are ultimately unable to reach a decision on the racketeering charge, it could result in a mistrial for that count, like I said before. Though verdicts on the four other charges will still stand. So anyway, the racketeering charge is the one that has life in prison, okay? The other charges, one has a minimum, I believe, of 10 or either 15 years, and the other charge has a maximum of just 10 years, okay? Anyway, this is the reason why the judge is considering an Allen charge. On day 2 of deliberations, Judge Aaron Submaranian received a note from jurors indicating they were split on count 1, which is racketeering conspiracy. Anyway, the note described unpersuadable views among members of the panel, a legal signal that often triggers consideration of an Allen charge. Prosecutors supported the idea of delivering a modified version of the charge, while the defense pushed back, warning against undue influence. So, we do know that Allen charges are permitted in federal court and have been used in high-profile cases to prevent mistrials. When they really want to get someone charged, they're going to use everything they can. So that is the Allen charges, and that is why the defense team is saying, objecting to that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't need to pressure the jurors, because then they may just, go ahead and go with the flow. And just say if the other jurors vote guilty, they may just be pressuring into voting guilty just because, you know what I'm saying? So they can hurry up and get out of there. So anyway, here's what's clear so far about how this might play out in the Diddy trial. The Allen charge is a tool used by federal judges when jurors are struggling to reach a unanimous verdict. Okay? It stems from the 1896 Supreme Court case, Allen versus United States, which upheld its use. The instructions reminds jurors to re-examine their positions and continue deliberating in good faith. So anyway, while the jurors' note signals a split, many details remain uncertain about what comes next. Now, here are the open questions as deliberations continue. Judge Submaranian has not yet confirmed whether he will issue the Allen charge or in what form. It's unclear how close the jury is to an agreement on which side holds the majority on count one. The exact timing for resuming deliberation on that count has not been made public, but they did. This was earlier. So that is, they're going to deliberate until they're going to do it again tomorrow. And then they have until Thursday. So I don't know if that means that tomorrow, which is today, they will, have an answer, or they will take until Thursday morning to, reveal their answer. Now, why you should care? Count one is racketeering conspiracy. It is the linchpin of the government's case. It carries the possibility of a life sentence, just like I just told you guys. If the jury remains split, then that means a mistrial on that one count could complicate any further prosecution, even if verdicts are reached on the other charges. Okay? Now, the use of an Allen charge could also become a flashpoint if Diddy is ultimately convicted. And what do you think may happen? He can do an appeal, because he can say the judge issued an Allen charge, and this could have possibly pressured the other jurors to go ahead and make a decision that matches everybody else's. And he thinks his attorney will think that's unfair, and they will do an appeal. Okay? And as far as, what was I going to say before? Okay, so they say if the jury remains split, a mistrial on the count could complicate any further prosecution, even if verdicts are reached on the other charges. Because one would argue what Jermaine was asking, even though he could still be charged with the other ones. Jermaine was saying if they have a mistrial and can't agree on him being guilty on what is it called, racketeering conspiracy, how can he be guilty of the other charges? But we did research that, and you can be found guilty still on the other charges. Okay, we did some research on that earlier. Okay, let me read y'all comments over here. So Tony Man said, damn. Jermaine said, ex-trafficking, transportation for the purpose of the prop. You know what? Conviction is pretty much life for Diddy, right? Okay. Anyway, let's dig a little deeper. Okay, Allen charges have surfaced in many recent high-profile trials, including one in New York just months ago. This happened in the Daniel Penny trial in December 2024. A Manhattan judge issued an Allen charge after jurors said they could not reach a decision on second-degree manslaughter. In that case, the judge ultimately dismissed the manslaughter charge, but instructed jurors to continue deliberating on a lesser count. Now, this move was very controversial, but legal under New York state law, which, like federal law, requires unanimous verdicts. The Allen charge has historically been used to avoid mistrials by encouraging, consensus. But critics argue it can pressure jurors to cave rather than to hold their ground. All right. So the thing is that that Allen charge could be good for some, but it may not be good for, Sean Diddy Combs. Okay, Combs. Because again, if you are putting pressure on the jurors to make a decision, to basically vote the same way, somebody could be, not voting in good faith. They may not be doing it in good faith. They may be doing it just because you're pressuring them. And so if they do that, the Allen charge, and say Sean Diddy Combs is convicted, he definitely can do an appeal, which I'm thinking he probably will if he is convicted. Hey Dre, thank you so much for being here. You said crazy how they taking all day over the racketeering, but that's part of the RICO. So if he didn't racketeer, then the others have to be not guilty. Now, this is the same thing me and Jermaine was talking about earlier, but we did look this up. And, it's some legal on a legal website or whatever the case is, and the lawyers said that he can still be charged on the other charges. Okay, even though they're taking all day to decide on the racketeering conspiracy charge, which is crazy because one would think if they cannot make up their mind on the racketeering conspiracy and somebody is unsure, one would think that, you know, how can the person be sure of the other stuff? But again, we don't know what the verdict is on the other 4 counts because for all we know, it could be not guilty or it could be guilty on some, not guilty on the other. You know, like for example, on the Jane Doe X trafficking, it could be not guilty, but on Cassie's, it could be guilty. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and it just all depends, you know? Very tripped out, huh? So let's see what else we got here. So again, tomorrow, which is today, it's not today here on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, y'all know it is. So Wednesday, the jury is going to continue to deliberate, all right? And like I said, they have until Thursday to reach their decision. However, they may have it tomorrow, okay? They may have it tomorrow. So in this chat, do you think Diddy is guilty of all of his 5 charges, or do you think he is innocent, or do you think it's a combination? You said, let him be convicted. Y'all women no more flyouts on vacation because they will lock you up with a Mann Act. That's right. Yeah. You know, so the thing is that the Mann Act goes a little further than the regular X trafficking because we looked up the Mann Act. So with the Mann Act, even if you fly someone out and it's consensual, you know, you fly them out to have entanglement for cash, that can still be looked at as X trafficking. And that's what they are trying to possibly do to Diddy. Okay, period. You say not guilty, okay? So why do you think he's not guilty, Dre? So y'all put what do you guys think in the chat too. If you got guilty, tell me why you think he's guilty. So let's go ahead and go down. Let's go over here. Oh man. Okay, let's see what else we got here. While y'all write your answers in the thing. So let me tell y'all what Suge Knight said while we were waiting for you guys. Not guilty, guilty, or whatever. Suge Knight, crazy self. He may be telling the truth though, you guys. He makes some claims about Sean Diddy Combs and Tupac's own mother's involvement in the rapper's 1996 unaliving. Can y'all believe this? Let me just tell y'all. So Suge Knight is making fresh claims about Tupac's unaliving and who was involved. Nearly 3 decades ago, one of the most famous rappers was, you know, obviously shot down on a busy Las Vegas street. And to this day, no one has been charged with his unaliving, okay? A lot of people think that Diddy has something to do with that, all right? Now, on September the 7th, 1996, Tupac attended the Mike Tyson versus Bruce Seldon boxing match at the MGM Grand Casino. The California Love artist took in the fight with then, you know what, records head Suge Knight. Later that night, Pac was involved in a brawl with Southside Compton Crip member Orlando Anderson after one of Knight's associates claimed that Anderson tried to steal his, you know, chain. The incident, which was caught on MGM surveillance footage, was broken up by the casino's security. Now, after the fight, Tupac and Knight headed to a nightclub, but as they sat in Knight's BMW at a red light on East Flamingo Road, a white Cadillac pulled up next to them, and obviously it shot out several shots into the car. Knight was grazed in the head by a bullet, while Tupac was hit in the chest, armed and leg. Both men were transported to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. 6 days after the shooting, Tupac was pronounced unalive. Now, Suge Knight is making new claims about the unaliving of one of hip hop's goats and who he says was involved. So anyway, let me just see if I can pull this up on TikTok so y'all can hear him talk, and then I'm going to read y'all stuff over here. Hold on. This man is a hot ass mess, you guys. Okay, let me just look it up real quick. Okay, so let's see. These claims he be making, but you know, he could be telling the truth. I don't know. So let's see if we can pull this up on here. I think this is it right here. So we're going to look at that in 1 second. Let me do this real quick. Let me turn that music down, and then I'll read y'all stuff in a minute. I haven't forgotten. Okay, hold on. I was giving you guys enough time to, type everything into the chat. Okay, let's present, share screen. Here it is right here, share. Okay, let's watch this real quick.
In a rare prison interview, Suge Knight, the former Death Row CEO and sole surviving witness to Tupac Shakur 1996 drive-by shooting, revealed shocking new details. He recounted how Tupac, knowing he'd likely return to prison, allegedly
I'll tell you what, let me use another, because this lady right here is got this music on. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else. Damn. I hate when they start all that damn talking and stuff, you guys. I mean, not talking, but all that music. I'm trying to see if I can find it somewhere else. We may have to listen to that one. Okay, I don't want to get no copyright claim for that music. Let me see if I can find it again, you guys. Hold on. They cannot do a video without putting music in it. Goodness. Let's see. That's the only one that I do see. I can't believe other people don't have this up yet. Let me see real quick, y'all. Just hold on. You cannot do videos without having music in the background. And when you're doing news stories, I honestly feel like you can have it in the background, but not that damn loud. Let me see if I can. Suge Knight makes false claims. I mean, not false claims, but make claims. Let's see. Let me see if I can type it a different way. Let's see if I can figure it out. No, what's the collect call with Suge Knight now? I don't know why they don't have this up here. So I guess what? Yes, I'm going to just tell you guys because I don't see it up here. No, I don't see it. Except this shit right here. Hold on, let's see. Let's see, Suge Knight prison. Let's see, let me do it like this. Let's see if we can pull it up like this. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it up. Let's see. Oh no, we still can't get that. Is this one? This is a different right here. Okay, he's saying that Tupac is still alive. This man is crazy. Okay, let's first let me hear this right quick. Okay, let's hear this real quick.
When you close your eyes and you think about Pac, you don't think about, damn, Pac can put on 75 pounds. He got a gut now. What happened to his six-pack? Oh, look at the gray on him. Oh, look how his voice changed. Oh, you don't think about that because he left the world at his best. Not only did he leave the world at his best, Pac still lives today.
He's not saying, these people are so crazy on TikTok. He's not saying that Pac is alive physically, okay? I think people would do anything to get views. But anyway, let me just tell y'all, because this person got news going, and you know how YouTube does. Okay, let me go ahead and do this, because I couldn't find it, which is crazy. Let me stop sharing. Okay, so anyway, so of course they do believe that Diddy had something to do with Pac's unaliving, but you don't have any physical proof. Let's see. What are you doing? Crazy? Anyway, well, hold on. What did y'all do to this cat? Huh? Hold on for a minute, y'all. Let me see. Y'all scared the cat? Huh? Y'all scared of the cat? Y'all scared Sable? Huh? But she ran here like a bat out of you know what? Sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, then she almost broke her damn legs trying to get in this room. Anyway, right underneath the bed. So, Suge Knight, this is what he said. Okay, hold on. They're going over a whole list. Hold on, let me go down. So we already know that Knight basically hinted at the fact that Diddy ordered Tupac's unaliving. That's the first thing, okay? Put my music back on. Okay, let's see. Then hold on. So this is what he said. Okay, hold on. Let me go down to because I'm bypassing everything with Keefy D and all that stuff, okay? Because we already know what Keefy D did and all that. So listen. Suge Knight said, I ended up with a bullet an inch into my skull, but at the same time, everybody knows where $1 million came from. And so he was basically pointing the finger at Diddy. He said, like, what would Pac want? What he really want is truth. I believe that if something smells like shit, looks like shit, it is shit. All right? Then Knight makes a crazy claim. He said that Tupac asked his mother to help him be unalive. Okay. Anyway, he acting crazy, which is weird. He said that Tupac's mother, Afina, tried to assist in her son's unaliving when he asked her to. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Okay, this is allegedly, this is what Suge Knight said. He alleged that while Tupac was in the hospital, he was suffering and pleaded with his mom to help him in his life, and that she gave him pills. You hear me? She gave him pills to do just that. Now, again, I don't know how true this is. This is what Suge Knight claims. I don't know if he's doing this for attention or he's what. Anyway, according to Knight's account, the doctor came in and brought Tupac back, and his mom said, don't ever do that again. If he's having complications, don't touch him. Don't bring him back. Let him go. So what do you guys think about that? If you don't stop, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys believe Suge, or do you think he's definitely lying? Jermaine said it's nonsense. All right. So as you guys know, the mom passed on in 2016. She went into cardiac arrest. She was 69. So do y'all believe that, not Diddy, Pac asked his mom to help him pass on because he was suffering in the hospital after he got shot, you know, and his mom gave him some medicine, but the doctor called him back, okay? And then the mom told the doctor, don't ever do that again. If he's having complications, don't bring him back. Y'all believe that? Somebody said either that happened or Knight did something to Tupac in the hospital. Why else would he pay someone $1 million to cremate him? Like, who pays that kind of money for a cremation? There was foul play somewhere. Maybe that wasn't Tupac's body. I don't think we will ever know what really happened. I know when he got shot, it was on the radio, and they said Tupac is expected to live. Not sure what happened, but I guess he was doing okay. Somebody said that Diddy did that shit. I do believe it. He wanted all the money and fame go to him only. He wanted to be in the spotlight, just like his kid's mother passed on, and nothing was wrong with her. And Tupac's mother did not have the right to help unalive her son. Only God can judge. Somebody said, finally, someone is telling the truth. There is no doubt about it. This is exactly what went down. Suge Knight is doing time right now because he saw the light, because this is exactly what went down. Remember, Suge Knight was driving the car when Tupac got shot and unalive. Somebody else said, true indeed. I think Diddy has something to do with Pac's murder. Just listen to the song Hit 'Em Up by Tupac. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how outraged Puffy was behind that diss track. Somebody else said, I believe Suge has something to do with it, and Diddy has something to do with Big's unaliving. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. Honestly, I think Diddy has something to do with Pac's unaliving. Okay? And as far as Biggie, it could have been Suge. Okay? So somebody said one thing I specifically remember was the fact that they said he was alert and talking, and then the next thing you know, he passed on. I know it can happen, but it was just very suspicious to me at that time. So I don't know, you guys. I just want to let you guys know that's what he said. It could be true. You just never know. We weren't there, so we just do not know. It could be true. It may not be true. It doesn't sound far-fetched, though, because if he was in pain and stuff, he could have asked his mom to do that, and she could have given him some pills, and then the doctors could have brought him back, and then he passed on. I don't know. But I know one thing. Suge Knight been telling a lot of stuff, and I don't know if Suge is lying or if he's telling the truth, but, you know, you just never know. You never know. A lot of people believe him. Okay? So let's see what they're talking about right here about Diddy. Before I do that, though, let me go ahead and read y'all comments over here. Okay, so you guys, Jermaine said, count 2, ex-trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Count 3, Mann Act, transportation, Cassie Ventura, separate charges. So you said he's going to be found guilty on count 2 of ex-trafficking of Cassie, count 3, the Mann Act of transporting, Cassie. So that's 2 charges or 3. And Dre said everyone consented to it and everyone made money and was down with it. Can't say he was a DD because he was using drugs. And can't say Rico because he was not profiting off the free costs. Okay? He's saying all this, but know who unalive Tupac and ain't saying nothing. That's crazy. You're right about that. Shit. The thing about it, I don't understand why these people be talking about snitching, but yet they do be snitching. How about tell us who unalive Tupac? He was right in the car. Okay? Damn, you mean to tell me he didn't see? Tell us who unalive Tupac. They probably not even alive anyway. Anyway, Dre said, I believe Diddy did the hit, but it justified because his paperwork says Suge beat up Diddy best friend looking for Diddy mama house in LA. Wow. At a magazine house party. Okay. And you said, man, please. You talking about Suge? That's a deflection off him because Suge know he played a part in the bullying and played a part in what happened. Okay, so the thing about it is this is what I think. Okay. I think it's a strong possibility that Diddy did, and I'm saying I think because I don't know. I think that it could be a strong possibility in Diddy ordering that hit. I actually believe what Keefy D says, okay? I believe him because he have said the same thing over and over and over again. Just like I believe that Suge Knight definitely knows who unalive Tupac and why he isn't saying anything. It's just crazy. Okay, but he's snitching about everything else. Now, it could be a possibility that he might have even been involved in it. I don't know. But I definitely do believe that Diddy played a huge role in, getting this dude unalive. As far as Biggie Smalls, I just think that maybe Suge had something to do with that. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying I'm thinking that he could have had something to do with, you know, Biggie's unaliving. Now, all of these are, you know, alleging, okay, because we don't know for sure. All right, we just don't know. We're just guessing, based on some things that we do know. All right, the feud, all the diss tracks, they're talking about each other. I just believe that Diddy played a role in this. I don't know. You say you don't believe all the Keefy stories. I believe it. I believe what he said. I believe that he was offered, him and that dude was offered $1 million. The other dude got some of the money. I think that's what he said, and they didn't get the rest. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I do believe that. I believe the hit was ordered, just like he said, and they asked Orlando or whomever to do it. You know what I'm saying? I believe the altercation at the casino happened, right? And it's just a coincidence that it did happen because it would be perfect. It would be a perfect alibi to say that he got unalive because of the fight, you know what I'm saying? And they retaliated. When in reality, no, they was going to do something to him that night anyway. That was just, that just happened out of the blue. And it was just something, that they can use, when they actually do it, they do it. Because I know they just probably had everything planned. They knew he was out at the boxing match, okay? The only thing about it, how did they know where he was going to be when he got in the car and left? He said he was going to a club. How did they know to be at that light, that intersectional street at that particular time and everything else? So that means somebody close had to be calling him up. No. They might have followed. They probably was following him. Okay, they probably was sitting right outside of that daggone Las Vegas casino, the MGM, right? And when Tupac and his crew left, the car was right there. Okay, or the cars were right there. And then they followed him. As soon as he stopped at that red light to talk to fans or whatever he was doing, that's when they made their hit. That's what I think. That's what happened. They followed him, because they knew he was going to be at the fight. They waited, and I just think out of a coincidence, the altercation happened. But I don't believe nothing stemmed from that altercation. I think everything was already planned. Okay? So you said, I believe Keefy D. Okay, something's not all. I believe he did it and not his nephew. So you don't think that Orlando did it. You think that Keefy D basically is the one that did everything. Okay, because Keefy D did say he would do it. If his cousin or nephew couldn't do it, he would do it. Okay? You said, I believe Keefy D went to his police friend and they did. And when they didn't get the money for Pop, you know what? They unalived B because they didn't get the money. That's what you think? Could be. You just never know. Yeah, nephew. So let's see. So you said, I believe Keefy D went to his police friend, and they did. And when they didn't get the money for Pac shooting, and that's probably what happened. When they didn't get that money, all of that money, because I think they got some of it. When they didn't get all of that money for Pac's shooting, they unalived Biggie because they didn't get that money. And that could be true right there. It really could be. I know one thing. Suge is the key to everything. He knows, and I do not understand why he's not saying anything. He's saying he does not want to be a snitch, but he's snitching. It's so funny how people be saying they don't want to snitch, and yet they be snitching about all types of shit. A snitch is a snitch, you guys, okay? Whether you're snitching about this or you're snitching about something else, it's still snitching. You know what I'm saying? A snitch is a snitch. And he's snitching right now in prison. Every damn time you look around, every time he has a phone interview, he's snitching on something. And so that's why I don't understand why he won't tell us who underlined Pac, because he saw the person, you know? At least I'm guessing he saw the person. All right, let's see what else y'all got up here. Did I miss anything? So not guilty. And then Jermaine said he is guilty. So for me, I know Earl, I keep on changing my mind back and forth about Sean Diddy Combs. Because before I was like, adamant that he definitely, it would definitely be a mistrial because they just don't have enough evidence to support all of these charges. However, after carefully reviewing everything and looking up the legal definitions of all of these charges, I don't know for sure, guys, because we got the one which is ex trafficking, right? One could argue if he actually ex trafficked Cassie for sure. Okay. As far as Jane Doe, I don't think so. All right. But Cassie, it may be, possible. We actually went over this earlier. I forgot what example we used. Not example, but one piece of evidence that we put up there earlier. You said street code. Yeah, street code. He can't snitch. Well, he's already snitching, Tony. He's telling every dang on thing. All right. Or either he's lying, So, Jermaine, you remember what we said earlier about the ex trafficking charge? Let me look this up real quick. Keefe D been doing the most in jail and stuff, fighting and shit, right? Didn't he get in an altercation? Because I thought I reported that. So, let's see, hold on. Let me look this up real quick. Let me look at this right. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I know I just spelled this shit wrong. So that's the same thing I was looking at. They're looking at the legal definition of ex trafficking. When you take someone from another area or another state, city, or whatever country, and you bring them to you for the purpose of engaging in, X for money. All right. And then they incorporated the Mann Act, which goes a little bit further because it said even if it's consensual, they can still be charged with ex trafficking. So it was one thing that we used with Cassie that may be considered ex trafficking, but I don't remember exactly what it is. Let me see here. Because they got him on 2 counts of that. They got different things on different stuff. What did we say? Jermaine, just put it in the thing, please. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick, you guys. Let's see real quick if I can see what we said earlier. Okay, hold on. So he said 2 counts of transportation to engage in the P word. That's those that's Cassie, I guess, and Jane Doe. Because he allegedly had them engage in extra relationships with all those male escorts. I think that's what I forgot what we said earlier. I'm trying to look up everything that we said. Hold on, let me look and see what they got here, y'all. Can't find what I was looking at earlier. Hold on, let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find this. Give me a minute. You said, I just posted it. Counts 4 and 5 are the same just for Jane. Okay, so counts 4 and 5 are just the same, just for Jane. Okay, I cannot pull it up on here. I have to pull it up on my phone. Hold on, let me go to my thing. Jermaine, why come you don't do stuff simple? Gosh. Let me go over here and look at it, you guys. Hold on for a second. Hmm. We went over all this earlier, and I described everything in detail. Okay, let me go ahead and look. So you said count 2, ex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Like I said, count 3, demand act for transportation, because it can be consensual. And then you said Cassie separate charges. Okay, let me look on the thing and see what you got on here. Hold on, let me go to my channel. You know I can't click on this. I have to go to my on StreamYard. I have to go to my YouTube channel. So hold on, let me see. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. So the 8 qualifying crimes for the RICO charge is kidnapping, arson, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, trafficking, transportation for the purpose of P-word, and drug, distribution. All right, sorry, YouTube. Okay, so with the distribution, the reason why they can do that can be one of the elements is because when you look up that definition in legal terms, that can mean not just for selling it or, selling it and things like that. It also can mean that if you share or you give drugs to someone, even if they don't pay for them, you can still be charged with DRUG, distribution. So that right there can be part of the RICO charge, all right, if they see evidence of that. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought in text messages, he was discussing getting candy for himself and putting some in the rooms, for others. I'm not sure, but I thought that's what we, read in the messages. So I think it's there, okay? Now, the transportation for the purpose of the P word could be also, you said that could be Cassie, or it could also be, I think it is Cassie because they got them on 2. They got 2 charges, one for Cassie, one for Jane. All right. Moving them around, whether it's from a different state, a different area, like when they go from his place to a hotel or whatever, but they go in there because they are going to engage in, P word. You know what I'm saying? With, ex workers. Or they could be talking about the escorts who he transported around, from places to places that comes straight to him, to the hotel, to his place or wherever, for the purpose of basically the P word, because anytime you are paying, someone for X, that is the P word, you know what I'm saying? Which is PROSTITUTION. Now, what I don't see, then again, they may say forced labor, but I don't see forced labor. I don't see no forced labor at all. Some people did say they worked all day and night, but they can leave anytime they want to. They couldn't prove the arson. Now, the kidnapping things too, they tried to say kidnapping, but I don't think that he would even be guilty of that because the defense attorney said that the other lady, I think Jane Doe, now I don't know if it was the other lady who they had up in the office room questioning her about a jury piece for 5 or 6 days. She was able to leave every night. That's what the defense attorney said. So you can't say that's kidnapping if a person can leave every single day and go home, and then they come back. How's that kidnapping? But you could argue about the incident where Cassie alleges that Sean Diddy Combs, you know, made her stay in the hotel and she couldn't leave, because he had, fought her and had bruises on her. So he made her stay in the hotel until her injuries went, healed. So, I mean, I don't know if they can look at that as kidnapping or not because we don't know for sure if that's, 100% proof. Do they have evidence to support that or what? Well, I don't know for sure. Okay, so I don't know if they can use kidnapping. We know they can't use arson. The bribery thing, again, it depends on how the defense attorney played this because they said that he basically bribed the hotel people by telling them that he would give them $100,000. He did give them $100,000, to make sure that tape didn't get out and that, there's no copies made and that he, has the only copy of the tape and stuff. But Sean Diddy Combs' defense attorney could argue that the $100,000 was for the damage in the hotel, and at the same time, yeah, he gave them that so they can go get all of the tapes and stuff because he does not want the world to know, the problems that him and Cassie is going through. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they can use that either. But that X trafficking and the transportation for purpose of the P word, maybe so. But the DD, the DRUG distribution, and that too, because again, when you look at the legal dictionary definition of it, it says that even if it's consensual, if you are giving someone or sharing drug with someone, you can be still charged with DD. Okay, and that will fall. That is one of the 8 qualifying crimes for the RICO charge. Okay, so if they do get that, they got the DD, they got the maybe the transportation for purpose of the P word, and maybe the bribery. Those are the predicate acts, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So they said that the jurors would check not proved or proved for each predicate act. So I guess those are the qualifying crimes for the RICO charge. Those are the predicate acts, right, Jermaine? Okay, so if I was on the jury, I don't know if I could. The kidnapping for me is not proved. Okay, the arson is definitely not proved. The bribery may be proved. The witness tampering proved because of the things that he did for the hotel, situation. The forced labor not proved. Ex trafficking. Because remember, if you are transporting someone for the purpose of having X, if you're paying them, that can be looked at as X trafficking. But did he know that he was committing that? And was he actually doing that? Because one could easily say, unless it's in text messages, that when he initially hired these escorts, he was hiring them for escort services. And then it just so happened that things led to having entanglements. And as far as paying, he has to pay the escorts anyway. Who's to say that money was for an extra act? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know for sure about the X trafficking. In the transportation for the purpose of P word with Cassie and Jane, I just say that's not proven for me because, what are you talking about? All right. For real, do they have proof that he transported Cassie or Jane for the purpose of the P word? Now, as far as the male escorts, again, if it's, I'm thinking, I thought that I saw that in the text messages where he was talking about getting these escorts, but did he say exactly what they were going to be doing? But he did tell people to put all this appropriate stuff, but I don't know if he named all of those things because look, appropriate stuff could be anything in the hotel rooms. So it just all depends on if he named everything or he named some things that could indicate that's what he was going for. And if he basically told them that they're coming out to have X, he's going to pay them. Because like when he hooked up with the Punisher, they told the Punisher he was coming to do, just what he regularly does. And then once he met Cassie, she changed the whole story and said that they wanted him to do an XCC. And so he was all game for that. But an XCC could mean anything. It could simply mean you're going to dance, okay? You're going to dance extra, okay? And as far as her giving him money, you can easily say I was just paying for the escort service. And honestly, if you're going to do these weird things, this is the way he should have carried everything out versus the way he did. All right, point blank. Let's see what y'all said over here. Yeah, that's all in the count one for the RICO charge, right? The racketeering and conspiracy. So what was the other charges they got him? Let me see. Let me see the ones again. I just read them earlier, but I forgot what they were. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Wait. Jermaine, I made a mistake. It's Thursday. Today is Tuesday, Wednesday now. In some places, it's Wednesday here now too. So I made a mistake to my Thursday. So that's when I have to go there on Thursday. And I am so happy about that too. Hold on now. So what did I just say we was going to be looking up? Hold on, y'all. You said not guilty. Okay, cool. Not guilty. Okay, I forgot what I was ready to look up. Let's see here. Oh, the charges. Let's see. What are Diddy charges? Okay. Excuse me, y'all. I'm looking on it. Okay, so let's see. So I said 2 counts of ex trafficking. So they said those charges are related to allegations that Combs manipulated individuals into extra acts with hired men. So he's talking about Cassie and Jane Doe. All right. So again, a lot of those text messages did indicate that it was consensual, but at the same time, inside of some of Cassie's text messages, she's talking about the fact that she did not want to do the freak off. Okay. And he basically, if I remember this correctly, basically used some form of persuasion to encourage her to do the freak offs, just like with Jane Doe. That's why she's included, because Jane Doe said she did not want to do it now on that particular day. And I think not that same time, I'm not sure, Sean Diddy Combs texted her and said he needs to step back or something, step away from this right now, right? And then he also included, that means, I think he asked the question to indicate that he would not be paying anything anymore. So Jane says she went on and did it because that means that, she wouldn't have her house anymore because he's the one who pays the mortgage. So that may be looked at as manipulating these 2 women into doing the free cost, by using, scare tactics with money or, beatings. Because Cassie did say that he beat her when she did not want to do the freak offs or she wanted to stop or whatever the case is. Like at the hotel, she said they were about to have a freak off then. Okay. So that may be how, they're saying that he's guilty of ex trafficking Cassie and Jane Doe. Then you got the 2 counts of transportation to engage in the P word. So this comes from allegations of transporting people across state lines for the P word. Like it's 2 counts, so it must be Jane Doe and Cassie once again. All right, so I guess he, when he took them to other places to have the X word, that could constitute transportation transportation to engage in the P word, if I'm correct. So as far as the racketeering conspiracy, that charge alleges that Sean operated a criminal enterprise involving various crimes over 2 decades, such as the Diddy, which we already see that because you don't have to sell that, okay? You can just be giving that out. You can be just sharing it, you know, and that can still be looked at as DRUG distribution. Again, that kidnapping thing, I don't see that. All right, I just don't see that. But they're trying to say that he did kidnap Cassie, especially, and then the Jane Doe. However, the defense team said Jane Doe could leave every single day and come back. Okay, so that wouldn't be really kidnapping. Kidnapping is when you keep people against their will and they can't leave or anything else. And then the X trafficking. All right, that all of that is into that RICO. Okay, the racketeering conspiracy charge, if I'm correct. The kidnapping, X trafficking, the distribution. All right. And like I said, I don't see the kidnapping. Now, the only way I can see that is if they try to say he kidnapped Cassie when he had her in that hotel, allegedly, you know, after he beat her butt, allegedly, and she needed to heal, so he made her stay in the hotel. You know, but who's to say that's true? You know, she could have wanted to go to the hotel. She could have wanted to stay there and be out of the limelight so nobody could see her. You know, did they show any type of proof that this happened? Because if there is no proof, how can the jury even say he's guilty? Okay. The Diddy, let's look at that up real quick. I can't talk into that. Let me go ahead and type that in. Come on. Let's see what this is. Okay, I'm just looking it up, y'all, so bear with me. So like I said, DRUG distribution is the act of selling, transporting, or delivering controlled substance to other. It is a more serious offense than simple, you know, DRUG possession. Okay, let me see what it's saying. As it implies a willingness to distribute DRUGS within the community, potentially impacting public health and safety on a larger scale. So anyway, here are some key aspects of it, okay? Selling, delivering, or transferring controlled substance. This includes selling, delivering, or even sharing prescription medications illegally. So I already know somebody in particular could be charged with a RICO for sharing prescription medications illegally. Let me stop. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that the other day. But anyway, sharing, okay? Sharing drugs. Okay, but let me say something right here. It says sharing prescriptions and medications. Okay, did Sean Diddy Combs share prescription medication, or did he just share the stuff that he got from some drug seller? Okay, which, I mean, because they say prescription, does this apply to any type of DRUGSs? Okay, because if it doesn't, then that means that he possibly could be guilty of the DD, like I said earlier. And then this intent to distribute, they say even if it's not a sale or transfer, even if it didn't happen yet, if you have DRUGS with the intent to give it out to other people, then it can lead to those charges, okay? In prosecution, we'll look at a couple of factors. The quantity of, you know, the candy. If you have other things in there to, you know, help you give out the candy. And I think Diddy did, because I think he has, of course, he had a large sum of cash. All right. And I'm wondering if he had like bags or anything. And then somebody said he brought in him some candy with Obama, shaped in the face of Obama. So though that was a DRUG. And then they said communication devices. The incriminating messages are there, okay? I mean, from what I remember. And I believe that giving out candy and things and picking it up, I believe it was discussed in some text messages or messages. So he may have definitely, did the DD. May get that. And I think that's one of the predicate acts, I believe. So let's see what y'all said over here. You said that's all 5. Okay. You said Cassie never said that Diddy paid or the dancers. No, Cassie, somebody else said, listen, let me think. We know that Cassie paid, and I think Jane Doe paid. And he did that on purpose, have them pay. But what I think they saw, what did Diddy pay off his account? If you can remember, Jermaine. He paid something with Bad Boy's account, because I was talking about it. Let me see if Diddy ever is a proof. Because even if he paid, if there's no proof, I don't know how they could basically say charge him with Diddy. Let me see. Except that he was giving out the candy, because he did talk about that in some text messages, I believe. And if that's the case, then he can get charged with DD. Cassie mom. So he paid Cassie mom, but I don't know if let me see. And then let me tell y'all something. If he never paid, then he had some idea that, a RICO could be filed. Because why would you avoid paying the male escort yourself? Okay, so they do have testimony and evidence suggesting that Diddy did pay male escorts. Okay, I don't know what evidence. Let's see what it is. Okay, so they're basically going off the hearsay. So let's see here. So male escort testimony, Daniel Phillip testified that Diddy paid him to have sex with his then girlfriend, Cassie, while Combs watched, with payments ranging between $700 and $6,000 per session, depending on performance. And I believe that, okay? Because he also allegedly called up the escort service and made a complaint, okay? So Sheree Hayes, another male escort, testified about participating in Diddy's alleged freak-offs and being paid $800 upon arrival, and then another $1,200 later for one encounter. Hayes stated he worked for the couple multiple times, receiving $1,200 to $2,000 on each occasion. And so the biggest thing, though, because that's kind of hearsay, right? So the biggest thing is Diddy's credit cards, okay? The statements. So anyway, they show evidence from Diddy's American Express account, revealed charges for damages at a New York hotel where Diddy, Cassie, an alleged male escort named Jules Theodore stayed, as well as Virgin American plane tickets for Jules. So that right there, you got the plane tickets, and if Sean Diddy Combs has the same amount of money that the tickets cost on his American Express, and this dude is a male escort, he came there for X, that could be also looked at as X trafficking as well. Okay, so they're looking at that, too. Okay, let's see what else. You got text messages presented by the prosecution showed exchanges between a male escort named Jules and Diddy's associate, arranging last-minute travels for Jules from Los Angeles to New York to participate in the freak-offs, with the associate offering a tip for the short notice. His American Express statement shown to the jury indicated Diddy paid for Jules' flight in a $2,000 hotel bill. So there it is right there, you guys. Okay? I told you I thought I read that in the text message. I just didn't know exactly remember what it said. And then male escort Antone Harden claimed he was paid up to $7,000 per session, with the amount determined by Diddy's assessment of his performance. So the prosecution contend that Diddy's payment for travel, accommodation, and cash to male escorts, coupled with other evidence of coercion and control, supports their charges of ex-trafficking and transportation to engage in the P word. You got it? Just like I said up here and said. Okay? Now, they said these details are based on testimony and evidence presented in court during the ongoing trial. And Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges. Okay? Like always. He said he is not guilty. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, let's see. So what do you guys think about that? So y'all said my new prediction is guilty on counts 2 and 3, not guilty on counts 4 and 5, and hung jury on count 1. And I think that count 1, which is conspiracy, racketeering and conspiracy, that probably may be a hung jury on that. Because it seems like they're having a hard time trying to reach, a verdict that's basically the same. It seems like everybody is definitely not agreeing on him being guilty or either not guilty. I don't know. I don't believe Jane Doe at all. Okay. You said, so wait, so she can hire X either when he was gone, but she ain't want to do it. What do you mean by that? So wait, so she can hire X either when he was gone, but she ain't want to do it. Right? She did, right? She did hire not ex-traffickers. She did hire male escorts. And I think, I can't remember if they both did, but I believe Cassie did, if I'm not mistaken, when Diddy wasn't even around. Okay. And I think one of those male escorts actually liked her. They became friends, if I'm not mistaken. You said Jane Doe went and did a freak off with a whole nother celeb for money in Vegas. Right. That's the one. Okay, so that's who did that. Wow. And I remember that. So if she did not like doing these freak offs, well, why did she do this? That's crazy. Cassie mom, what Jermaine? Let's see. Let's see what else we got. So let's see what else we got on this Diddy thing. I'm waiting to my page thing. Okay, that's just a breakdown of what happened. I already went over this. Okay. Wait a minute, y'all. Let me say this story. I'll go back over here, push this. So let's see. We got that one already. So let me tell you what 50 Cent's baby mama said. Anyway, 50 Cent and the mother of his first child, Shaniqua, she took to social media to make some shocking allegations about the G Unit boss in Mr. Hilton. Okay. So Hilton is the mother of Diddy's eldest child, and she is a stylist. Diddy and 50 Cent have a history of feuding, and according to Tompkins, 50 allegedly used her to his advantage. Anyway, during a recent live stream, she alleged that he hired Hilton to be his stylist simply to sleep with her and get the inside scoop on his longtime enemy. He allegedly did this because he wanted to sign Mace, but Diddy wanted $2 million for him, which 50 did not think he was worth at the time. Then she went on to accuse her of telling 50 when she contacted a lawyer to help her file for child support. As a result, she alleges 50 ended up retaining the lawyer, and she had been trying to retain. So she also claimed that she experienced physical and emotional abuse while in a relationship with 50. So 50, if this is true, I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is true, just say if it is true, how can he even talk about Diddy? Okay, if this is true. She said that she left him because he was emotionally, physically abusive. And she also alleges that 50 abused his other ex, Daphne Joy, and that she was asked to testify in a case against him. Allegedly, she declined due to personal issues she had with Joy. She gave me so much shade, and she was trolling me along with him, she alleges. And of course, 50 has not addressed this. All right. So if that's true, that is crazy. What's up, young Reds? Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, let's see what else we got here with 50. Okay. I think that's it with 50 though. Yeah. So I think that's it with that. The recap of this trial today. And like I said, today, Wednesday, because it's still, because I keep on saying that, but it's Wednesday. So later on today, they're going to go back inside of that courtroom, and the jury is still going to deliberate a little bit further. And they got until Thursday, but they may even have an answer today sometime. But if not today, then Thursday morning. Right, he gave the money back to Cassie mom. But you know what? It still won't delete the fact that he possibly extorted her for that money. Even if he was playing and just doing that because he was mad, the police, the feds are not going to look at that like that. You know what I'm saying? The prosecution is not going to look at that like that, because you basically cannot be going around telling people you need to give me $10,000 or else I'm going to reveal your daughter's freak off videos. And let me ask y'all something. We didn't even think about this. When he came to, when he demanded that Cassie mom give him $10,000, I think it was 10, or he's going to release some freak off videos. I wonder if the mom asked what is on these freak off videos, because if she would know about the freak off videos, because like if you came to me and you said you have a video of me or my daughter or something that you're going to reveal because she's been doing some weird stuff in a freak off video, the first question I'll be asking is, what is a freak off video? And let me see the video, because I don't know if you're telling the truth. I don't need to watch the whole video, but just a part of it so I can know what you're talking about. Because if Cassie mom did not know anything about freak off, how could she even know that he's telling the truth when he said that he was going to release the video, and then she just go get 20 a loan on her house, to get the money? It's crazy. He said, but didn't Cassie do the same thing about wanting money, or she was going to go out and do a book? Yes, and put out a book. Like I said, if we did not use the legal definition, or we didn't have to abide by the laws and stuff, for me, I would say this whole entire foolishness, this whole entire trial is just plainly foolishness. It's like he's on trial for domestic violence. And I think that, this should be handled in a different court, in state court, domestic violence. But I actually think it's out of that, it's too late to do it now. But if it could be, I think he should be going up for domestic violence charges and maybe something else to go along with that. But over here doing a trial, trying to get somebody on the RICO and stuff, if I didn't have to use any legal or anything, I would be like, he's not guilty, But since we do have to use the legal definitions and stuff to determine what these crimes are, and then we have to look at the definition, and then we have to look at the evidence and see if that evidence support that definition, then you don't have no choice but to say he's guilty of some certain things, Just like I said yesterday, you said in that extortion Cassie did. How did Cassie do extortion? Because he's the one who allegedly contacted Cassie's mom and told Cassie's mom he was going to put out a video of her, or else she needs to give him 10 grand. So then she goes and put a loan, on her house to get the money. And then she gave it to Sean Combs, but he did give it back. But the thing is that it doesn't matter if he gives it back or not, because he's already, put himself in that position of them seeing that he was doing some type of extortion, period. So I wish we didn't have to use legal definitions and things like that to, make our, to see if a person committed a crime, but you do. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely believe this. He got a bunch of women who mad because he wouldn't marry them or have kids by them. So they feel like we're wasting their time. This is time to get some money. And I definitely believe this, especially with those civil lawsuits. And I also believe that the reason why Cassie didn't hesitate to tell us, because it was alleged that Cassie had asked him for money before when she was threatening to write a book or something like that. And I don't think he did it. And that's the reason why she went on and did the actual lawsuit, so she can make sure she gets paid. But I think if he would have went on and gave her some money from the get-go and told her he's sorry and really meant it, maybe she wouldn't have filed, she would have did what she did. Right, I remember that. That's what I was talking about. So that is extortion. But the thing about it is this right here, they don't have Cassie on the stand for any charges. The only one that's being charged is Sean Diddy Combs, the only one, which is crazy. I'm going to save these stories for Fuckery Friday because they're a hot ass mess. And let's see what 50 said about the deadlock. I don't know why this is on here. So let's see what he said. So he said they are struggling to find a verdict on one final charge. Okay, that's what he said. Okay, let's see. So that's what he said. That's the only thing he said. He said that they are struggling to find a verdict on the final charge. And that's crazy by itself. That means that somebody isn't sure about something, period. All right, so let's go ahead and take this off there. See what else you guys wrote, and then we're getting ready to get out of here soon. Let's see. You said this case, hey Paul, you said this case is lust, greed, and jealousy made manifest. Right, it definitely is. And it's a shame, how they're saying that this man did all these things. And if you look at some of the stuff they're saying, a lot of people are guilty of this, picking up people, transporting them to another area or another state for the purpose of having X with them, and they pay them. Hey, that's what the OnlyFans they be doing. The people on OnlyFans, some of them be doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is a hot ass mess. Probably so. Who knows? Right. Everybody benefited from it. And I don't understand why all these other people who played a part in this aren't up for charges as well. I know some of them got immunity. I think that's right. But at the same time, what about all the rest? And then another thing too, you guys, why aren't all those girls, the ones that I actually did a live on, I can't remember all of their names, only can remember Allie, right? Why wasn't any of them involved in this? And I find that to be very odd. He definitely had a lot of women. And what I think is that, Cassie and Jane Doe wanted a serious relationship, and Diddy just wanted them for freak out purposes, because Cassie complained and Jane Doe complained about that. So they both wanted him, just like Maya. I believe that him and Maya had something more going on. I don't know for sure. I really do believe that. So it's a trip. He said Gina was not going to flip. That's why she didn't have to go to court after being. Okay, I'm waiting for you to get the rest of your answer up there. So that's crazy. It's a whole lot of foolishness. It's like a clown show. I mean, for real. They get all them damn text messages, because even though in the text messages they are indicating certain things, but at the same time, like Jane, she was even writing text messages, even after when they weren't around each other, she was telling Sean Diddy Combs that she, adored him, appreciated him, loved him, and all types of stuff. I just find that to be odd, to be sending a person text messages saying all these positive things if this person has been nothing but a nightmare to you. That's weird. You said Gina was not going to flip. That's why she didn't have to go to court after being asked in subpoena. Right, that's the one that did not show up, right? She was definitely not going to flip. And honestly, I would have did the same thing. Cassie should have did the same thing, because she had already got 20 million. People are in comment sections talking about 20 million is not enough. Are y'all dumb? Half of these people don't even make $1 million. So what are you talking about? 20 million is a lot of money. Hell, if he would have given me 20 million, please, I wouldn't even say anything else. But it couldn't have been me in the first place, because when he first did it, once I broke free, I would have went and reported it, and then bought myself the highest power GUN and just be waiting on him. But I would have relocated and everything. And if he followed me or somebody else, they would have got those bullets. You know what I'm saying? Period. Because I would have had, armed security as well. Because all of the money that she was getting from him, I'm thinking that, I would have been saving it. I would have got out that situation. I would be perfectly honest. I sure would have. But I like to, I'm going to, fight back anyway. I just wouldn't be doing all that shit. No freak offs and all that stuff. That's not my flavor. So him and I, it couldn't have been me. It's a whole, weird situation. And I do know that they did say that they wanted to do it to please him. So sometimes they probably did enjoy engaging in these freak offs, but the times they didn't, that's when Diddy started using his little tactics to encourage them to do it. But y'all know what? A lot of people would be guilty of a RICO or something, because so many people do this, especially in relationships. You don't want to do something with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and they start talking about, well, I'm not going to pay this bill, or I'm not going to give you this shit, So a lot of people do these type of things. But the thing is that Diddy got himself in a situation by believing he can't be touched. You know what I'm saying? You said maybe they was paid to say I love you. You never know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you can meet men and women who encourage you to say I love you, or try to bribe you to say I love you, or promise you things, like they'll promise you, I can give you the world if only you'll fall in love with me. And I know that to be true because I have experienced stuff like that. So he might have said that. You said crazy is when Diddy wasn't there, they did freak offs. He ain't make them do that. It's because they like those freak offs sometimes. But the thing about it, the argument is not about them engaging in the freak offs. Sometimes the argument is about them not consenting to the freak offs all the time, and Diddy forcing them or manipulating them into doing the freak offs. Okay? That's what they claim anyway. But the thing for me is this right here. Like in one text message, Jane Doe, he told Jane Doe that he was gonna step away, and he indicated or made some type of indication that he wouldn't be paying anything anymore. And Jane Doe knew this, and she said she went on and agreed to do the freak off because she knew if she wouldn't have did the freak off, then he wasn't gonna pay her, bills anymore. And one of the bills that he pays is her $10,000 per month mortgage payment. So she's living in a mansion and really can't afford it. So she's going to go ahead and do the freak offs and everything because he's going to take that away. I don't understand how they could put that inside of a charge though, because if you break up with someone, you tell someone you're not satisfied with whatever you want them to do, so you're going to break up with them, getting damn well they're not going to continue to do whatever they're doing for you. And the thing about it, I don't consider that as force because she had an opportunity to say no. Okay, I don't want to do any more freak offs. So you go ahead and we can break up, and then you can get prepared to move up out of the house because he's gonna not pay it. But she didn't want to do that because once you get used to being in a big ass mansion and all the other luxuries, it's gonna be hard to give up on that. So you'll go ahead and do whatever they ask you to do. And that's what I said. Just don't do it. She could not resist not getting that money to pay her mortgage payment because she was used to that lifestyle. So let's see what tactics. He took every woman, this what he is into, and they said yes to be in that lifestyle. The thing about it, they're talking about when they did not consent to stuff. He told every woman this, what he into. They all say yes to be in their lifestyle. But the thing about it, once again, if they say no, they do not want to do the freak off that day, you cannot force them. You cannot use manipulation. You certainly shouldn't be beating them. You just say, okay, go get somebody else to do a freak off with. Okay? And all that money he had, I would have had 3 or 4 standbys. Whatever Cassie didn't want to do, then the next person would do it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever Jane Doe they want to do, then the next person would do it. Okay? Period. You say again, that's in his head. Diddy never said, if you don't do this, I'm not to pay your bills. She thought that because she knew some women would and ain't want to lose her spot, right? So this is like a lot of, what people think, a lot of hearsay. And like I said, the jury, hopefully, they see some of these things for what it really is, They sure do. The courts are a hot ass mess. Because like with the DD charge, the DRUG distribution, I never knew that if you just shared things with someone, they could that which is crazy, man. That's why you have to be very careful out here. What's up, Kim B? What's going on? Long time no see. You must have been very busy. But anyway, welcome to the live and happy and blessed new month of July. But yeah, this Diddy situation is crazy though, but I'm just thinking that they will probably they may get a hung jury. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. The best thing that could happen for Diddy is that the jury cannot come to a unanimous decision, okay? And they end up doing a mistrial on that racketeering conspiracy because that charge right there carries a possibility of life in prison, all right? So that's the best thing that they could do, all right? And then on the other charges, another best thing that could happen is if the jury don't find him guilty on every single one of those charges. Diddy would get less time in prison. It would still suck, but I tell you what, 5, 6, 7 years is way better than 25 or 30 or life incarcerated. You said they all knew he had other women, so they did it because he knew they stand by with. That's why some of the girls he ain't talked to in months or weeks at a time because he had women, right? He had other women and stuff. And they were jealous too. Remember, they were jealous. Jane Doe and Cassie. And allegedly they were jealous. And they were feeling some type of way, So all of this, I really do think it stems from more things than just legal things. Okay, I really do. And all these other people who are claiming he did something to him. Again, I'm just trying to figure out why no one said anything until Cassie came out with her stuff, which is plainly ridiculous. Because I do understand people sometimes have to wait for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years to say anything. But waiting for 10 years and beyond is crazy. And then you say, a lot of people say they didn't speak up because they were scared of Diddy's retaliation and things like that. But when you think they would still be scared now, okay, because he has just as much as power now, more money now than he probably had back then. So, I mean, whatever things he can do, he could have done back then, I think he can still do it now. So what made them get courageous enough to tell now? Okay? You said this judge is going to use Diddy as karma to be reincarnated as a white man instead of Indian. Probably so. Again, these women think they wasted their time, so they want to take his money. Yep. But look, as far as Cassie, she already got it. Okay, Jane Doe has already got some too. And that's nothing. Why would Jane Doe even testify? I mean, I know she was subpoenaed, but I would have disappeared because if she testifies and everything, then eventually her house payment is going to stop and then she's going to have to move. But you would also think that, all these years or whatever the case is, she would have been saving money because, just in case, especially if she knew she was going to be telling. You say you feel that the RICO charges is not going to go through, but the other two may go through. I think he would do about 2 to 4 years. That's what I'm saying. He may just do a few years, and that's way better than going to jail for life. I really don't think that racketeering conspiracy charge is going to fall through. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to, I think it's going to fall through. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's going to be a hung jury on that, possible mistrial. I don't know. That's what I think. And they may even have the answer tomorrow. But then the judge may go ahead and just use that Allen charge, which will give them more time to deliberate, maybe even after the 4th of July. You say, I believe if he's found guilty, they want to set an example that you can't travel with women and have sex with women. They could be using him as an example, we just never know. Or he could have made somebody piss off, and they brought all this down on him. You just never know, you guys. You just never truly know. But all in all, we are going to find out real soon, maybe even later on today. And you guys know that I am going to be right there up on this so I can come and let you guys know. Me and Jermaine will be watching and checking this out, to let you guys know what's up and recapping it. All right. Again, we got to start watching what we do. Just put it like that. And when you deal with people, you need to know who you're dealing with. Okay. You can't trust everybody. You can't be doing certain things with everybody or telling people everything. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. And for heaven's sake, if you're buying women and men, do not use your company's account. Come on now, it's crazy. You say crazy how women can say they don't want a man with money or can't get no ex without money, and now it's ex trafficking on what women wanted. It is. It's tripped out, Well, not every woman operates like that, though. You know what I'm saying? For me, yeah, I don't want no broke man. Let's keep it real, because, everything you have to pay for it. You want someone that can add, not take away. All right. I mean, he doesn't have to be rich or anything, but just, have a job, pay your bills, maintain some decent credit or something, and learn and know how to work together as a team. As far as the X thing without a man giving you money, that's kind of weird. Okay. Because when you meet people, one would think, you first need to find out if you like the person and if they're attractive, if you can get along and all this other stuff. And naturally, if a man likes a woman, he would naturally spend money on her anyway. So when they do decide to have, relations, it would be because they like each other, regardless if the man give her cash in her hand or not, And that's why, when people meet people, they need to make sure that they like the person for real, not because this person is buying them things or because this person is rich or, superficial things. They should like them for real. And that way you don't be looking at the money they give you, in order for you to have X with them. You see what I'm saying? So I think people base things off the wrong things. But at the same time, you got some men who use their money to get women to be with them or to have X with them. It's just not right, for either one to do that. And this is why people get used, taken advantage of, and things like that, because people continue to do this weird shit. If you get anybody with money, okay, it's not going to be real, all right? Because as soon as that money run out, they're going to be gone. Okay, point blank. They're not going to be there. You can't buy friends. You can't buy women or men or anything like that with money. Actually, you can, but you're not going to have real friends and real, significant other. This person is only there because they want your money. And when it's all gone, they're going to be gone. Or they're going to change up and start acting, tripped out. And you're going to realize that the only reason they wanted you is because of your money, period. Okay? So anyway, that's it for the recap of Diddy trial today. I'll be back again later on today, and hopefully the verdict will be in. Otherwise we'll be waiting till Thursday for the verdict. They claim they want to wrap it up before the Thanksgiving, before the 4th of July holiday. So 4th of July is. Hold on, 4th of July is what day? It's on Friday, so they definitely have to have that verdict by Thursday. Otherwise, if they do the Allen charge, it may go past the 4th, and then they probably will be back in court on that Monday or Tuesday. And that's going to be crazy for Diddy because he's going to be sitting on pins and needles all throughout the holiday. Point blank. But if he has a good defense attorney, man, for real, defense attorneys, I'm thinking that they could have got out of some of these things that they're saying. Okay? Point blank. You can really make the jury think if you put certain ideas into their head. Almost similar to what I did here on this live when I said that who is saying that he bribed the hotel people? That's what they say. How do we know this is true? He could have actually been giving them money for the damage of the hotel, and because he did not want, the information to get out, because he didn't want to damage him and Cassie's reputation, and he didn't want anyone to know about their little orgies and stuff that they like to engage in. So who's to say that's not the reason who's to say that isn't the reason why he was trying to give them the reason that he did give them $100,000. And remember, $100,000 is not that much money to him at all. It's like what? It's probably like $10 to him. Okay, let's keep it real. All right. So anyway, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank Jermaine, and thank you so much, Jermaine, for being here. Dre, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel. Kim B, nice seeing you again. Thank you for providing your input as well and being here. Mario, thank you so much for stopping by again and sharing your input. I appreciate you too. Let's see who else. I love the way y'all comment in this comment section too. Tony Vance, thank you so much for being here, like always, showing support. Have a good night at work, Tony. Let's see who else. Young Riz was up in this place. Thank you so much, Young Riz, for being here, showing support as well. Have a good day, Young Riz. Mocha Delight, thank you so much for being here, showing support. I hope you subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate you. Old boy, thank you so much for dropping by and showing support. I appreciate you too, old boy. And thanks for the compliment on the graphics and the intro and outro song. And let's see, let me put Young Riz's name up here. It's gonna be like, why she didn't put my name up here? Thank you so much again, Young Riz. So thanks to everybody in the bushes and everybody who watches this in the replay. You guys, don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed this content tonight. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to It's Talk Time with Shades to Night Owl Talk Time. I always forget the title because I got so many daggone shows. It's ridiculous. All right. And y'all don't forget to thumbs up and leave a comment and all of that if you are watching this in the replay. Thumbs up so they can show it more. And thank you guys so much. All right, y'all. We are getting ready to get out of here. Let me put my let's see. All right, y'all, let's get out of here. We need this music. We did 2 hours and 5 minutes. Not too bad. Good night, y'all. Peace. I just put on here. I put the wrong damn thing. I'm always doing the wrong stuff every night. Hold on. Let me put this thing back up. I don't know what the hell I've been doing sometimes at nighttime, y'all. Okay, that's a whole different background, but this is fine. Here it is right here. Good night, y'all.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, is somebody hurt? Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube,